record here. Amazing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Fabrics of Desire, the first masterclass of the three. I'm so happy you've all made it. I've got an amazing presentation. For those of you that know me already, you know that I'm very passionate about my little presentations, and this one is no exception, I promise. And for those of you who are watching the recording, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this at your pace, at your time. I appreciate that. I appreciate you listening to your bodies and knowing when you need what. Let's honor that. And for those of you that feel like today's the vibe and right now is the vibe, I'm really, really happy to spend this time with you. So we've got 3 hours. Will we use those 3 hours? Probably not. But I like that we have a little buffer because I think it's important to sometimes give yourself that space to really integrate once things have settled in a little bit because it's going to be a lot of information. For those that don't know the format, it's a lot of me yapping. It's a lot of me yapping. So I hope you have your notebooks. I hope you have your little drinks with you and your note taking. And know that you don't need to understand everything right now. Yeah. One of my mentors was really sweet, sweet man. Um, I'm in the Himalayan mountains. He said to me, Sarah, your subconscious is always recording. Always. So you don't need to understand everything. You don't need to be like locked in. You can relax. You can practice even maybe moving to the back of your body and just like allowing the information to come at you and just trust that whatever is meant to just like cling, get into that conscience will, and whatever isn't will slowly make its way at its own time and pace. Yeah? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, most of you know, but I'm going to say it again, discernment. Your duty for the next 3 hours max, probably less, but 3 hours, is to discern like a motherfucker. I want you to really, really, really tap into what is a yes and what is a no. Because again, I'm going to be talking a lot. And I really want to make sure that you guys are getting into a habit where you're feeling and sensing like, oh yeah, that was a fuck yes. And that, not so sure. And not from a place of like unavailability to to maybe look closer because it's a no, but like a clear no, like kind of discerning a little bit like where's your maybe, where's your yes, where's your no, and like sensing into that. Okay? So this is a really crucial aspect of my work. We're all self-responsible. If there's things that come up afterwards, I'm available. I think you all know this. Yeah. And also just trust yourselves, yeah? You can take this on. I know you can. And today's topic is a little less shadow and a little more fun. But don't worry, I'm gonna be calling you all out. You're gonna find out. Here we go. You can open your eyes again. Thank you so much. So, welcome to Fabrics of Desire. First of all, thank you so much for tuning to yourself to choose this workshop because, like, I'm going to be really real with you. Everyone that just signed up for Who's Your Daddy is going to, like, be gravely missing out on the tools necessary to actually embody that last beautiful and, like, super powerful, like, masterclass. What we're learning today is going to be like microdosed um, tools for you to be using already, like for the next 2 weeks leading up to this masterclass, so that you can feel like really confident and really comfortable already in those tools and like in the diversity of your tools. So that when that masterclass hits you in the face and maybe the ass, y'all are gonna be fucking ready. Yeah? So, fabrics of desire. This was a really important topic to me because it was it was what has it was and still is what allows me to feel really, really courageous and brave and attuned with myself when I think about where I'm coming from and also where I am right now. Let me explain. Da-da-da-dum. Oh, before I explain, oh my gosh, I totally forgot this is very important. I will not be doing any breakout rooms or anything like this. I'm not a breakout room girly, not yet at least. And so there's one thing that I do require, which is framing. Framing is something that some of you know already, some of you don't. So I'm going to clarify and be really, really explicit. If this is confusing, please tell me. Framing is the following. I'm going to be, again, saying a lot of things, and I will take little breaks in between where I will ask you to frame something that you've picked up on that was like very apparent and very clear to you. Yeah? And framing is a little bit like, if we have the Museum of the Shadow Madonna, we want to have lots of frames in our little museum that we can go back to and go, ah, yeah, true. And this happened. I felt this. Or my body sensed this. Or my thoughts were this. So I want you to get into the habit of really listening, but also sensing like, oh, what are my thoughts doing right now? What's my body doing right now? What's my feeling right now? And seeing if you're even capable of naming these things as clearly categorized as what I'm offering slash expecting from you. Why am I doing this? Because I'm interested in you all going out into the world and sensing and differentiating between these three. Because if we're all the time in our heads and going, we're all the time here in our thoughts, and we're never sensing into what our body is saying or what our feeling is saying, then we're setting ourselves up to be constantly in contact with our thoughts and our shadows rather than like encompassing our entire experience with our shadows, right? Or just our experience in general. So when you can tear yourself away from your thoughts, when you can move yourself away from your body sensations, when you can like really take that distance between what you're feeling, you're going to have a lot easier of a time engaging with yourself and also, your triggers or your shadows or whatever's happening around you. This is a general tool. I promise, 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 if you start integrating this on a more like daily basis, it's going to make your life a lot easier. But for now, you're going to use it in this beautiful time frame that we have together. Yeah? Some of you already know, but I just wanted to be really clear. Are there questions? Cuestiones? No. Okay, take that as a no. So, I want to talk about where it all started. Do you remember your stuffed animal as a kid? Do you remember? Yeah. I want to just drop into that. I want to drop into that. Who was that little animal that was with you? You can even just close your eyes for a moment and just exhale and just drop into the memory of this stuffed animal or blanket, something that was, with you as you were a child, especially in those first few years. Most likely a stuffed animal of some sort. Just drop into that for a moment and notice what's happening with your body. See if you can relax your shoulders. Notice what's happening with your heart. And just stay there for a moment. And now imagine that you're literally holding this little stuffed animal or blanket or whatever it is. And just see if you can sense what it felt like to touch. What's the material? Just sense into that for a moment. And just ask yourself very tenderly, what are you feeling right now? What are you sensing right now? And what is your feeling towards this stuffed animal? And if there's any memory that's very obviously coming up right now, a memory in which this stuffed animal played a role or created some sort of safety for you, why don't you just allow that memory to surface and just observe this memory, the sensation that this animal, this stuffed animal gave you, gifted you. And now gently allow yourself to take a deep, long inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Relax your shoulders. We're going to do two more, inhaling through the nose and exhale through the mouth, letting some relaxation reach your temples, removing the tongue from the roof of your mouth, relaxing your jaw, noticing your throat, your shoulders, your collarbone, and taking one more inhale and exhaling out. Dropping the tension from your arms, from your rib cage to your hips, to your thighs, to your calves, to your ankles, and to your toes. And gently allowing yourself to come back into the here and now, into this moment, into this room together, allowing all those memories and sensations to just gently leave you as you come back here. Mm. Hello. Mm. Welcome back. I would love for you to write down what were two or three of the feelings that came up. What's the name of this little animal, this little stuffed animal or blanket? Just a few describing words. And if you can, describe what it felt like to sensationally touch. What was the touch like? And it doesn't need to be super poetic or anything like this, just very simple. And then I want you to write down, what did this item, this object, this deeply meaningful piece mean to you? What did it mean to you? And from the point of view of now, but also back then. And again, it doesn't need to be very complex. It can be just very simple. I'll just give you 15 more seconds. And if you have a lot more to write, you can always just note down the question now versus then, see what comes up. Yeah, it's a good also additional note is like for the memories that maybe don't show up or didn't show up for anyone else also is like just I love where you just took it immediately, which is like what would it be like to be a child to have something like that? And this is kind of skipping already a little bit ahead, but I think it's totally fine. We'll go there right now. Like what happens when this child has this, right? Like some of you maybe wrote that down, like what was it like? Or what would it be like, right, to have this sort of sweetness with us? And of course, like we can't go straight to the shadow sexy side if we don't do a little bit of inner child stuff. We all know it, right? Like we got to do this little loop before we can go to the other stuff, which we will get to, I promise. But we need to just be here for a moment longer, which is that I really want to highlight to everyone like what happens when a child has this sort of security blanket, right? Like for some, it's even just a blanket that creates this experience for them and and how does it feel, right? And when we externalize safety in something that lives outside of us and we're like moving from like being within our mother and then being outside of our mother, then noticing ourselves become like individuation, like becoming more of an individual, to having something that creates external comfort, safety, care, right? And I want to highlight that relationship because this is the exact relationship that we're going to replicate, but like the PG-13 fun adult version. Yeah, through, as you probably guessed, fabric, right? And we kind of need to go step by step through these things in order to like really like completely wrap our mind and our soul also around this concept. Yeah. So I will say one more thing about the codependency externalized. So when we're externalizing our safety like this, and we're putting it in humans, which I know we women, we love to do that. Men too, but we women, we really love to do that. We love to put our little safety into like a beating heart, like a human or like an actual living, breathing animal, which seems a little bit more healthy than like a partner, for example, just throwing it out as a random example. And I really want to like I want to bring our attention onto that, yeah? So if we're coming from a place where like we're gifted external safety with through a stuffed animal or something like this, we're also creating like a bit of a blueprint, but at some point it gets a bit like wishy-washy, and then we're like looking at it, looking at like literally like shoving it into a human body. We kind of want to move away from that in order for us to feel our sovereignty. That's like the whole point, right? That's like the fine print of like when someone says like let's be sovereign, that's the fine print, right? So I'm just putting that out there already. Let it simmer. You don't have to do anything with this information. Just let it simmer for now and let this concept sort of like melt through you as we like move through the slides. Okay? Okay. Amazing. All right, so fabrics in connection. So just as I was explaining, like this connection that we have with this like dear stuffed animal of ours, fabric is the more adult version of this. And I want to integrate this as like as a way those detox symptoms that come up when we're getting nitty-gritty into the like not not willing and not wanting to have codependency in our life anymore, right? This is a great way for you to be able to move through that. So why does fabric matter in the first place? Fabric matters because it determines how your clothes look, feel, perform, and last. These are all questions that I wonder if you've ever asked yourself about the clothes you're wearing literally right now. And self-expression lives and breathes by you making decisions that actually align with your authenticity. Clothes are no exception to this. They are an access point for you to sense who you are and how you can be. So we're really moving from a place of like, okay, so these are the clothes that we're wearing. What about them? What story are they telling? Why are they even on your body, right? How did they get there? Who made them? Why did you choose them? So these are all questions we're going to tackle today. And a little way of calling you out already, starting, get ready. If you cared, then you would want to be in connection with these aspects as mirrors, right? So, like, if you really, really cared about the sanctity and sanctuary that is your body, then you would be asking these questions, right? Like rhetorical, right? So, Um, so we may begin to ask questions about how fabrics affect our inner architecture. So really like tune into that word, like architect. How are we architecting ourselves, right? When I was living still in Berlin, I went through like a very intense phase. I think like almost a year where I was going to the flea markets like every single weekend, trying to find pieces that would architect the woman that I desired to be. And this is a little bit the like the red thread that we'll see move through all of these slides and this whole entire masterclass. And it's an invitation to you too. Obviously, you don't need to go to a flea market every weekend, but the question is more like, what are you architecting and why are you architecting in the first place? What do you even fucking want, right? That's what it always comes down to. And where do we start with that? We start by asking ourselves, what do we like? So, your taste is yours. I want you to choose like instantly, like, which one is yours? Which one do you pick? And you can just like, I want to hear from you guys. So unmute yourselves and just tell me which color combination you feel most like pulled towards. Like, just tell me which one you were like, yep, that's me. That's what I choose. It shouldn't take you this long. Just pick. Just pick and share. We're shy. We're writing in the chat. Okay. Nice. Let's see on raspberry. Okay, nice.
Hey, do you want us to just come off mute to share, or do you want us sharing in the chat?
No, you can just shout out. Yeah, you can
Oh,
just
okay.
unmute
Thank you.
and
All
share.
right,
Yeah,
good to
go
know.
ahead. Amazing. I think everyone, almost everyone, right? Nice. Okay. So, why'd you choose that? Notice how you don't really have an answer?
It was my gut feeling saying this should be it.
Ah, okay. Nice one. Mhm. So, you just chose, right? And this is it. It's like no one can tell you that was right or wrong. No one. There are no wrong answers here. There's also no right answers because taste is taste. It's a little bit like food too. But since we're like really like hyper fixating on fabrics and the body, we're talking about colors and we're talking about texture, right? So when you decided that that is the one that you vibe with the most, I want you to see, just like reflect for a moment, how much were you doubting yourself? How much were you like second guessing yourself? How much of back and forth was there? Just reflect for a moment. Yeah. So when we feel really attuned to ourselves, we're able to choose in a more rapid pace, right? And gut is more instinct, right, than intuition. So just what Katerina shared, and maybe it was like that for most of you as well. There's like the differentiation between like what's your intuition, what's your instinct. When I was like, and now pick, that's your instinct. And we want to get even more acquainted with that. We want to integrate that even more on a daily basis. And for those of you who did Unbridled, you know that there was a very similar version of this in like week 1, right? We remember? Yes? It's the same like principle. The principle is always the same. How can we train? How can we literally do like reps when it comes to our intuition, when it comes to hearing our intuition, when it comes to like attuning to that? It's by doing things like this. It's like questioning, do I like this? Do I not like this? And the easiest places we can do that is through the eye of beauty. So art, color combinations, fabrics, right? This is like a beautiful way that you can like almost hack yourself into like doing tons of reps so that your intuition and your instinct gets like really fucking clear. Yeah. So this is an invitation. And if you're an ambitious little student, you would write down, practice this on a day on the daily. You would write down, practice going into a store and seeing instinctively what you say yes to and what you say no to. If you were an ambitious little student, then you would you would look out for art and go, yes, no. Maybe take yourself on a little date to a museum and decide what is a yes and what is a no to you. And I know that there can be chatter. There can be a little bit of like chatter after you've made the decision, especially when it's like as like fast and instinctive. Then there's like sometimes that sensation of like, oh, I need to go back on to like making the decision again. But I really want you to like reel yourself back, like notice the chatter, reel yourself back and stay in integrity with your decision. See how long you can stay with the instinct of what you chose. If you're understanding this from a big picture, like this is a microcosm, right? This is a microcosm for your whole life. This is a microcosm for your whole life. So if you practice this, it's going to make other things a lot easier. Do I like this guy or do I like that guy? This one. Okay, perfect. Stay with the decision. Do I want that job or do I want that job? This one, right? This is a microcosm. We're going to do the same thing again, but this time I want you to already all unmute yourselves because it's going to be like rapid fire. Yeah. And I want you to tell me which one you choose. Wait. Okay. Ready? Go. Which one do you choose?
Left.
Second.
Left.
Right.
Left.
Nice. Fuck yeah. I love a little rebel. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you. Notice how fast that was? This is proof that you can trust yourselves. That right there was proof that you actually literally fucking know what you want. You literally fucking know what you want. All the time that you're like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know. No, 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 no. You know exactly what you fucking want. You just proved it to me and all of these lovely women. Yeah? So just a little just a little anecdote. Yeah? So taste is yours. No one can take that away from you, by the way. Like people can be like, oh, like why did you choose right? Or like, oh, why did you choose left? Right? And sure, you can explain that if you wanted to, but a lot of the time it's not about the explaining. So so there is no judgment in the way that you choose what you choose here. There's no judgment. Do you notice that there's no chatter in your mind that's going like, ah, but the blue and the orange was actually really nice. Why don't we choose that one? You know what I mean? There's no. There's no judgment here because your instinct knows best. And I want to invite you into really leaning into trusting that instinct and staying with it. So the same goes for your self-definition. So when you start to get even more acquainted, sorry, if you start to get even more acquainted with that instinct and with the ability to execute and speak out your instinct, you're going to have a lot easier of a time self-defining. What do I mean by self-defining? I mean literally choosing things, in this case, and for this masterclass's purpose, your outfit, the way you dress yourself, but for the world, as examples, like the job you want, the guy you want, the dream house you want, the friendships you want, like the shoes you want. Yeah? It's like it's all the same thing. And if I were you, I would be writing down how often, and maybe tracking for the next 7 days until the next master class, how often are you catching yourself explaining your decision, explaining your instinct, and reeling that the fuck in? Yeah. Track it and see once you hit like day 4 or 5, try to reel it in. Try to just stay, sit in maybe the discomfort of having, um, not having like not explained and seeing if you can live with that. Yeah. So that's my additional homework. Hmm. Yes. What's alive when you tune into the flavor of your decision making? This is a beautiful question that I would also love to leave you as something that you can journal about. But in this particular moment, just tune into like, what was it like deciding? So when I talk about like flavor, what I'm asking, what I'm like kind of second agenda asking each of you is, who is the one that is making that instinct decision? Who is she? Because she fucking knows exactly what she wants and she just proved it to everyone and yourself. And what is her flavor like? Who is she? Because she's the one, like, if you really want to go deep with this practice, like, she is the one that will gift you and give you and pull you up to the type of confidence that you're desiring in all situations, not just picking which one of these two images speak more to you, right? So, this is like a sneak peek. I'm leaving Easter eggs. I love to leave Easter eggs. All right, where's my little mouse? Here we go. Let me move on. I keep losing my mouse. Hold on. There we go. So, it's time to test yours. I asked each of you to bring your favorite pair of shoes, or at least have in mind which one is your favorite pair of shoes. I asked you to pick top 3 items from your closet, whether that's a shirt, sweater, or pants, right? And for those of you that took the assignment very seriously and have it right in front of you, amazing. And if you don't, that's totally okay too. Take a moment, if it's not in front of you, to just like drop in, like, what are those top 3 favorite items? What are those? Just sense into that for a moment. Dun, 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 dun. So just drop into that. Beautiful. And now I want you to choose the first one, your top favorite piece from your closet. Just tune into that and like you can really like either literally grab it and hold it, or like drop into it and go, okay, what's here? What is the item? And as you're holding this item, or as you're imagining this item, I want you to ask yourself and answer, what is the look of this item? what is the feel of this item? How well does this item perform? How does it serve its purpose? And lastly, how has it lasted? Or how long do you believe it will last you? And now I want you to recall a time that you were wearing this item and how it felt. How did it feel to be wearing this item? And now gently placing that item aside. And if you can, grab those shoes. And if you don't have them close, then just imagine the shoes. And again, just like hold them, even in a metaphysical space, hold them and really like tune in. What does it feel like when you wear these boots? What do you feel? And how well have these boots performed in terms of durability, in terms of practicality? Tune into this. And now gently place the boots aside if you're holding them. And then, last but not least, take the jewelry piece that spoke to you the most, that is your favorite. Hold them or bring them into your consciousness, into the front of your mind. And again, tune in. What does it look like when you wear this piece of jewelry? And who do you feel like you are when you wear this piece? Who are you? And now I want you to piece together in your mind the last time you wore all of these items that you just meditated on or were just holding. And if you haven't worn them all together, imagine that you've worn them all together. And I want you to like really tune in. How do you feel having all of these items on your body? How do you feel? And now gently bring yourself back And I want you to write down which items you just thought of or you were just holding. And what was the last, when I asked you the last question, what does it feel like to have all of those on? I want you to write down what that feeling was. What was that feeling? Okay, beautiful. I would love to know from each of you best case scenario, but I'm not that forceful, not yet. I would love to know what is your relationship to each of these items? What is your relationship to it? And when I say relationship, do you need me to give you an example for context? Is that helpful? Okay. So let me give you an example. Today, I said to myself, getting ready for this call, I said, I need 2 rings, these big ass rings on my fingers. That's what I need. I need that. My relationship to it is the necessity. Like my relationship is like a need. Like I need to adorn myself. And so I need both of my big ass rings. So there's like in the relationship, there's a need. That's what I need from these babies here. So that's my relationship to it. Relationships are complex, so there's many feelings that can come up, right? So, for example, I feel really good when I wear both of these rings. I feel like a bad bitch. I feel amazing, right? I also recall the exact moment in which I got this ring. It's my work ring. My astrologist told me to get myself a work ring. I listened to her. So this is my relationship, right, to these items. And I want to hear from you, from these items that you picked. What is your relationship? Give me the complexities, give me the simplicity.
May I go?
Yes.
So the item that I was thinking about the most were my shoes, my sneakers, because I've had them. I didn't have had them for such a long time, but I bought them in Italy when I was so sick of my old sneakers and they looked really disgusting. So I threw them away and I said, I need new ones. I just went in a random store and bought those. And my relationship to them is because I needed to walk a lot in Italy. They were so comfortable and I felt like they carried me through my trip. And this kind of stayed like the comfort of them carrying me here in Berlin as well, because I obviously brought them back and I love them. I wear them almost every day because they're just so it's pure comfort for me. And just knowing I can walk however long I want with them and they will still feel really good on my feet. Yeah.
Hmm. Amazing. You also answered one of the other questions that I was going to ask, which is, what's the role that these that these pieces um, play in your life? And you
Mhm.
kind of already said it that you were like, it's kind of like this New York City girl, that
Mhm.
comes through these earrings, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is definitely also the invitation. It's highlighting a bit like how many pieces of your closet are actually your favorite, right? Like how many pieces do you actually have a relationship with? That's why
yeah,
I'm asking this question. Like maybe it seems
yeah.
kind of silly to be
Mhm.
talking about what your relationship is to your clothes, especially
Yeah,
for those that like don't really think about it that much, but like trust the process. Like there's a reason why we're talking about this. We're investigating why we don't also have a relationship with the other things that live in our closet, right? Like a good example also is like when you go on a short trip, You only take your favorites with you. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. Nice. So what I want to inquire on is is with these items, what is the story that is being told here about you? By you having relationships to these things, to these items, what is the story that is being told about you? This is a question you can take with you as like a journal prompt that you can work with a little bit later on to integrate this whole session. But it's also an invitation for you to just like, again, like let that question just sink a little bit into your subconscious. And it's it's from you can do this in two point of views. So you can do this from the point of view like what's the story being told about you that you're telling yourself while you're wearing this? But also, what is the story that's being told from someone who's like looking from afar, who's checking you out because you look rad in what you're wearing? Yeah? So that it's like twofold. So take that with you. Yeah. And I also want to like preface, I don't know why I feel this in the room, but I pick up on these things. I feel it in the room, and it might also just be like, the recording kind of vibe, but like the same degree to which some parts of you might find this silly or really like really silly, like really strange or really dumb, is the same part that's holding you back from telling the story that you need to be telling when you wear these items. Do you get that? So the shame that lives as like an envelope around being like, oh my God, it's Sunday night and we're with 12 girls and we're talking about clothes. The same one that is making this judgment, right, is having this opinion, is the same one that is cock blocking you from walking with confidence and like ferocious desire as she like struts the streets. Yeah. And if there's even an inkling of this coming up, I want you to like write this down as a question, as like, what's it gonna take for this judgmental part to get on board? What's it gonna take? That needed to be said. I was feeling that. So that's the second big ass shadow call out for y'all. Okay. Mm. Also, because she's the one that's cock blocking you from like actually living out the story of the woman that you desire to be, right? Like she's the one that's like preventing you from actually encompassing and enjoying the experience of being in these clothes and like on a physical, somatic experience, enjoying it. So, really, it's a question about how much you're allowing yourself to enjoy, yeah? Okay. Beautiful. How much are you allowing yourself to enjoy? That's a little question for you. Hee hee. All right, let's move on. There's a reason there. There is a reason there's a costume department in cinema. Yes, exactly. Diva. Nailed it. Exactly. And by the way, the cinema is life. And y'all are costume designers, so you get to choose what kind of costume you want to be wearing. And it's not because, like, not a costume out of inauthenticity, but a costume out of authenticity, right? Beautiful note. I love that, Diva. So, oh, I spoke too soon. There's definitely some little shadow things happening now. So, with these items, we kind of talked about it already, but I want like on a blank page, like not on the page that you've been writing on, but like on a brand new page, I want you to write down vision and mission and put a line through it. Yeah? We're going to talk about the vision and then we're going to talk about the mission. And once you've done this, I want you to write down ooh, How did I want this? Ah, yes, that's how I wanted it. So I want you to choose not the items that you just were speaking about or that you like were just in meditation with. Yeah, want you to choose another item that you had also brought or like in your imagination had picked out for tonight's session. Yeah. I want you to pick another item and this time clothing, not shoes. Yeah, not jewelry, just clothing. Okay. And I want you to write down what is the vision of this item. What is the vision? You can also write these questions like on a side note to like circle back to, but I'm interested, like, what is the vision? Just write that down, like, just really simple, kind of like imagine this item is a business and it's here to pitch you and it's here to tell you this is my vision. And then I want you to write down this is the mission of this item, the vision and the mission. So, this exercise you can do with items that you don't love so much in your closet and use it as a way to discern if it should even stay in your closet in the first place. If I were to even challenge that, I would be like, okay, tell me how that feels like. Tell me the body experience of that. Like, what is it to embody this feminine, the power of the feminine? Like, what does that feel like? So, is it okay if I use this as an example? Yeah. So, what we could say, for example, is like the vision is that my shoulders are relaxed, my chest is forward. I'm feeling and sensing that I'm living from the back of my body. My mission is to sense my room as I take each step forward with my earrings shining in the light. Yeah. See how we created a story? And this is the story that we want to create and also invite into when we pick things to place on our bodies. Because may I remind you, your body is holy, your body is sacred. So anything that touches it has the capacity to amplify. So when you put intentionality behind the earrings, the clothing, the accessory, the shoes, something changes. Something has the chance of changing and shifting. Yeah. So it's an invitation to again take the thought, take the body, and take the the feeling with us when we try to piece this together. Yeah. This exercise got more clear as we moved through it. Ah, I'm sorry if it was confusing before. So this is the last piece of this slide, this item. It's the last desire call. So I want you to choose um, the pants. Choose a pants, the pants that's your favorite, not the one that you did the imagination thing about or that you already picked, but one of the pairs of pants that you own. Yeah, and you're going to do the exact same thing, but this time you're going to tap even more into it and you're going to really ask yourself, what is the role that these pair of pants desire to have in my life? What is the role that it desires to have? It's getting a little bit repetitive, but that's because we're practicing, we're doing the reps. Just jot down a few things, okay? Again, the more intentional we can get about these things, the more capacity we have to remove our like incessant need to find safety and assurance and certainty outside of ourselves, and the more we're inviting in the capacity to find internal validation at the same time choose things that like you're like finding materialistically potent. Does that make sense? Like the more we like chalk out all the time like what we desire, like, oh, in this job I desire da da da, in this person I desire da 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 da, which is all great and wonderful and amazing. But if we haven't honed that skill by like naming, expressing, being explicit about what exactly it is that we desire, and the easiest way and the one that doesn't like no one's feelings get hurt just because you don't like that fucking t-shirt anymore. Literally no one, maybe yourself, but like literally you're not hurting anyone's feelings, right? So it's an easy way and a very safe way for you to get to really practice sensationally feeling like, ah, okay, this feels good. I like this. I desire this. Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it there. Let's move on to the more exciting, the more sexy and exciting piece. So, desire was and remains always here. Was always there. Just like at the beginning of the session when I was like, instinctively, go. What's it? You knew exactly what you wanted. And this part is the one that we're like slowly, like inviting more and more into this conversation. If we want to be precise with your inner world, then we need to practice. This is what I was just saying. I like, I kind of skipped ahead. Apologies. So, how do we do this? By pointing and focusing on what we desire. So just like we were writing that list just now about like what is it exactly that we desire? What is it precisely that we desire? That's why I had this little gun woman here that's like she is like very precise about what it is that she desires, and that's what we want to get clear on. And the more clear we can get on that, the more like more regime we can create, the more structure we can also create, the easier, especially in the world of like what we're talking about right now, fabrics, the more we can practice that in this framework, the easier it's going to be when actual hard things start happening in our life. When we actually have to make tough fucking decisions, when we actually have to be really fucking clear about what we desire. This is the micro dose to the macro. Yeah. So when we're pointing and we're going, actually, I only desire wool. I'm not buying it unless it's 100% wool. If I'm looking at this like this bracelet, I'm going, it's beautiful, it's gold, but it has like four stones that I'm not a huge fan of. I precisely know that's not for me. I don't want that. I'm good. So being very distinctive, being very precise. And now it comes to like, how do we communicate that desire, right? So when I was kind of like giving the challenge, the like next step to what Shauna was sharing, we all noticed what happened in our bodies, right? Was a different experience. So I want to get into a routine with you all where we're communicating from this place. So again, I'm going to ask you all to describe the desire of an item. You choose which one, I don't care which one. You choose. I want you to communicate to us, whether that's in the chat or if you want to like say it out loud. I challenge you to say it out loud because it's of course way more challenging. So when you communicate, again, I want you to communicate from the sensation, from the thought, from the body, and from the feeling. Shall I give you an example? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, what do I want to choose? What do I want to choose? Hmm. So these pants that I'm wearing, I'm going to talk about the pants that I'm wearing right now. So the pants that I'm wearing right now, I desire them to bring me the type of flexibility that I know sometimes is challenging for me. That's a thought. That's a thought. I also really feel that they bring like relaxation in my body. I feel the sensation of relaxation while I'm wearing them, and also the ease because they're very like stretchy and comfortable. And I really desire them to gift me somatically with the experience of easeful and relaxed upper thighs, that my hips feel like safe. They feel like they can just hang out rather than like zip up. And I really desire them to get me to a place where I'm living and breathing like chill, cool girl, easeful, relaxed. And by the way, this is really hard because of course we're always starting in our mind with what it's not, right? And then we need to translate. And I really desire that when I wear them, they're taking me to the place where I get to be really open-hearted and at the same time really trusting. And that's sometimes hard for me. So that's what I desire for these pants. It's a lot of expectations for a little pair of pants. But that's what I desire. So let's try. And again, like you're gonna notice that your mind is gonna be like, okay, so I don't want to be stressed. Yeah, you're gonna start with a lot of knots. It's not da 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 da. And I want you to try to catch yourself whenever you're sharing from the knot and immediately transit. So if you're not trying to be stressed, then what are you trying to be? Relaxed. If you're not trying to be tense, what are you trying to be? At ease. Yeah. Whew. It's a little challenge, is it not? I challenge you all to practice this exact format and notice that it's not like a rigid format or something, right? It's just like the I desire aspect is like just the most important one. Why? Are we understanding why? We're doing this so that we can actually get in contact with what it's like experiencing ourselves, what it's like to speak our desires out loud. And I don't have to tell you how fucking hard that is for a lot of women, for basically all women. So this is a very beautiful way, and also like when I said like the love affair, because it was like, wow, my gosh, I love it. It's like there's so much like clearness in her like desire to feel this and this. And like I was like, oh my gosh, like if I were this stressed, I would immediately want to gift her all of these things. Right? And by the way, this is exactly how you can communicate with the masculine, right? This is a little Easter egg. This is exactly how you can practice owning and being in alignment with what your desires are in the fucking first place, being precise, pew, 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 being super precise, being super focused, and then moving through the format like thoughts, body, feelings. Yeah. If you practice this, you're going to have amazing relations. Promise. Okay. Now we get to the sexy part. Oh my God. Took a little while, but now we're here. Okay, so what is underneath? What is underneath? What is underneath? Our little undergarments. So, like I just want to give you like this isn't a history lesson, but it's a little bit of a history input, okay? The quality and type of undergarments like showed wealth, like fine linen or silk. It showed the sex, the age, and the rank in a society. It showed perhaps maybe even correct upbringing, right? And like I'm like talking historically, like this is all in the past, right? And the right layering showed respectability, right? Someone knows which layer goes on top, and then this one and this one, and then the the final dress gets put on, right? Like I'm thinking back to like the 1600s and like, like back then. Yeah, I'm like really tuning into that right now. The entire fashion silhouette came from the engineering of underwear, not the outer garments. Can you imagine that? So the entire structure and silhouette of your body was defined by your undergarments, by your underwear, by your lingerie, by your whatever was underneath, right? And what a fucking metaphor for how we've A, lost that, and B, how the silhouette has changed, right? Now we are not so attuned to that anymore, right? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all, right? I'm like there's no judgment here. I'm just trying to bring this into your awareness. Like this is where we're coming from, ladies. Like this is where we're coming from, where we were wearing corsets and couldn't fucking breathe, right? Now we wear corsets and it's fun, right? It's just for fun if we feel like it. And lastly, people judged character by what they wore under their clothes, even if unseen, right? Because they could tell by the silhouette what was happening, what was going on there, right? So this is an invitation for you to look a little bit deeper, right? To go a little bit deeper, like what are undergarments and how do they play a role? Because if they used to be like creating the silhouette, engineering like of underwear, not the outer garments, then how can we define something and how can we create something by the undergarments that we wear literally right now, literally in this day and age? Same concept that we've been practicing, just in undergarment format. So, sensuality through taste. And the way that you care about the detail, so detail, this is going back to detail, the way that you care about detail tells you and the world everything they need to know about you. So, what's the story? I want you to tune into the little piece that you picked up and you said, this is my sexy undergarment. The one that said, like, this is the piece that allows me to feel really, really like fuck yes energy. Like, grab that piece or like imagine this piece, bring it to the front of your mind. Imagine that for a moment. Yeah. So tune into that, hold it, just sense into it. And I want you to ask yourself, what story is she telling when she wears it? When she wears this piece, what story is she telling? You can journal this, you can meditate on this. I don't care. You choose. What story is she telling? And this time I want you to be super, super explicit, like very, very specific. What's the story that she's telling? Okay. You can go wild later and continue this little journal question. But for now, I want you to also just notice for a moment, how easy was that for you to write down? How easy was that? Was it kind of easy? Was it kind of hard? How was it? Just reflect for a moment. And now I want you to ask yourself how easy, like when you read this morning or whenever it is that you received the message, how easy was it for you to go, oh, I know exactly which item makes me feel sexy? Like how fast? Kind of. Was it really fast? Did you kind of have to think about it? It was pretty fast, right? I'm gonna kind of, maybe. So, 50-50. Anyhow, This is again a nice reflection, a nice little check-in again, where you get to see and sense like, oh, okay, how quickly did I know that this was exactly the story that I wanted to be telling? Yeah. So again, how is your relationship with this piece? What's the relationship? What's the story? What's the history of this piece? Let that simmer. Like, don't go too deep into it. And now I want you to put this lens on it. This one. Go back. What's underneath? If you're architecting, like going back to the very, very beginning when I was like, let this simmer, the architect, like if we're architecting ourselves from the inside out, right? This is all the concepts, right? If we're architecting ourselves from the inside out, if we're trying to create a silhouette that is replicating our authenticity, how does what you chose that makes you feel the most sexy connect with that? How do the two correlate? How do they overlap? How do they connect? Shall I keep going? Is it confusing? Yeah. So going back to the very beginning, I'm going to actually pull up the slide. So we may begin to ask questions about how fabric affects our inner architecture. So fabric also means like the sexy undergarment that you did, like that you chose, right? So if we begin to ask the question like, how does this specific piece affect our inner architecture? What kind of answer comes up for you? How does it affect you? If you're really trying to architect this woman that you are desiring, this woman that is like really encompassing and embodying all of these aspects that you desire, and not just from a feeling sensation, but from like an outside like literal reality, like the house, the job, the car, like all of these things that happen outside of ourselves. But first we have to start here, right? So how does this undergarment affect your inner architecture? What kind of impact does it even have on you? Does it have an impact? These are all questions I'm just bringing out to you, right? And now, when I talk about architecting, I'm also talking about silhouette, right? So, have you ever noticed that when you wear like really sexy underwear underneath all of your clothes, you walk different? Yeah, yeah. Greta was the only one brave enough to nod, guys. Come on. I know you all feel that way. Or if you don't walk different, you definitely have a different, like, especially if it's something that's like a bit more like firm fitting against your body. Like, you have a different sensation for it. Like, you might even experience your somatic body maybe differently, right? Or you're like, it's super comfortable. It might be like a super comfortable undergarment thing, and you're like kind of being like, I have a secret. I have a secret underneath all of this, right? Let me take a look. Ah, all good. All good, Levi. Um, so I want to play with that a little bit. Yeah. If we're serious about building the woman of our fucking dreams, then we need to be thinking really fucking smart, and we need to be behaving really integral, and we need to be building the architecture. And how can we do that? By being so fucking like devotional towards how and what we create underneath. Yeah. So what do you deserve to have underneath your clothes? And no, I'm not talking about like some crazy like thing underneath unless that's what you're into, but like just super simple, for example, you probably deserve to have only cotton or silk underwear. That's it. Just start there, just like as a random starting point, yeah? But like if we're really serious about creating the woman of our dreams, if we're really fucking serious about being the architecture that creates this, this is where we start. Like everyone's like, oh my God, how do I get there? How do I create this woman? It's like, this is how we fucking start. This is where we start. This is it. This is how we engineer. Okay. Got a little heated there, didn't I? Okay. Yes, this is my point though. Shoes and underwear are the fastest ways to connect you to your desires. So, shoes, for example, are like imagine if you intentionally chose shoes, like what Greta was also mentioning. It's like you chose shoes that have this intention that you are literally walking in every single day that tell a story about who you desire to be. You're literally walking yourself into her reality. You're literally walking yourself into her, right? If you're into time and not believing in time because time's not linear, then there's like a submergence that happens, right? At some point, you feel like, oh my God, I can feel her heels as like my toe is like stepping forward, right? I don't know if someone's experienced like this before, but I definitely have. It's like I'm like walking and I'm like, oh my God, she's close. She's close. I can almost like smell her perfume and I'm like, oh my God, okay, higher self is like right fucking in front of me. I better keep walking forward, right? This is like on a more like ethereal landscape, but on a more like grounded landscape, it's like, yeah, but those shoes, like if you make an intention, if you decide that this is important, this is what's going to get you there. If you want to walk around with confidence, put on underwear that you think and not think that you desire to feel a certain way, whether that's confident, comfortable, like sexy, like whatever it is, but decide, be precise, make a decision, be clear. Like, this is how you can get there. Shoes, underwear. Start there. Yeah? Okay. Taste is in the detail. Confidence is so undeniable when given this outlet. So, like, I don't know if you notice, but sometimes when you walk through the street and someone is wearing something like that's like a bit like, whoo, that's out there, like, okay, maybe it's not even your kind of like vibe or it's not even like your kind of thing. But you're like, holy shit, okay. They just like decided to wear that and walked out. Okay, cool. Like obviously they're confident. There is there is little else like definable than like confidence from a situation like that, right? Of course, we could argue like, oh, it's overcompensation and da da da. But like, I trust all of you. Like, you all could know when a woman decides to wear something that's like maybe a little bit out there, or like, she's overdressed for a certain something, and you're like, oh shit, but she's walking with confidence, respect. Do you notice that like with a situation like that, and as I'm like describing it, that there's like certain sensations coming up? Do you sense that? Do you feel that a little bit? You're like maybe like, huh, what is that? Do we sense something or no? Just from that story. Much. Yeah, I think it goes back to also what you were sharing earlier, which was like I wish more of my closet had just these favorite items that you were saying that, right? Like,
Um,
and I think that this is like the more first like the basis is like the more we can train like the yes and the no. And the more we can create a story with the item when we first perceive it, the
mhm.
more likely it is going to be one of those items that stays, right? That is still deeply committed to you, right? Because it's desired something from you, or you've
Yeah.
desired something from it.
Mhm.
So we're changing the relationship in itself by already like in that moment when you're in the store going, what are you meant for?
Yeah.
How are you architecting what I am desiring to become?
Mhm.
What's the story you're gonna like story you're telling me, or how am I going to take you and make you and architect you into the story that I desire? So that's sort of like part one, part two. And part three for me is really like material, like really, really, really like there's like even just in like normal stores, you can go and look at like what the percentage of fabric is from like plastic, polyester to like cotton and wool. And there will be things that are like 85% wool and then like 20% or whatever cotton, and it'll be like 80. And then another piece that's like 100% polyester, and that's also 80 euros.
Mhm.
And I find that when I go into a store or when I go into any sort of purchasing mode, I don't look at the price tag. I literally like go and like look at what the percentage is of what the material is made. And just by doing this, we're like reorientating ourselves away from just like this quick moment of like, oh my God, I'm in love with this piece. It's so beautiful. And going, but what is it made out of? So then we're going to like sensational. And then we're going into relational. Then we're going into what's the story? What do I desire it to be?
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Fuck yeah. Hmm. Anything else like practical? Of course, there's a deeper invitation for all of you to go through your closet now and check out like what actually has resonance and what doesn't. And by the way, the item that you don't like, that you don't wear so often, you're donating that. I've decided for you. That's what's happening. That is going straight out to the donation, yeah? Because the same way that we're like keeping this sort of like thing is the same, like it's a reflection, right? It's all a mirror. Like I'm just gonna go all the way back because this just feels like super important to say. It's like, oops, it's like here again, like if you cared, then you would want to be in connection with these clothing and they are a mirror to you, right? In which ways you're refusing or disliking looking at these particular pieces. Like it's all a metaphor, right? We're getting that it's a metaphor, right? So, so again, like what quality do you deserve? Like I just want to throw that out there. And it's not like a practical thing that you need to like immediately da 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 da, but it is just a question like what kind of quality and what kind of texture and form do you deserve? And how have you treated your sanctuary slash body through adornment or the lack thereof, right? Where has the intentionality kind of like been leaking and like sort of flowing out? Yeah. Like when has that happened and how has that happened? So these are more questions that you can sit with. And then how can you invite the intentionality and the slowness, the detail and the grace of experience in when it comes to clothes, when it comes to fabric, when it comes to shoes, when it comes to jewelry? Like for those of you that really struggle, pardon me, for those of you who really struggle with slowness, hi, me, for example, something that's really, really helpful is like the intent and like notice that like a lot of what I said is quite repetitive. Like I get that's like sometimes annoying as fuck. And at the same time, it's like that is what like literally takes us out of this racing slash survivor mode and pulls us back into our body and like literally demands of us to be intentional, to actually focus, to actually be precise about our decision making when it comes to what and how we're adorning our body, how we are gracing ourselves in the experience. So I leave that with you now as an open invitation that you can share in the little chat how your experience goes, how it maybe felt to bring that one item to the donation, or you are all probably going to go to your closets now and do a big purge of some sort. And maybe that doesn't happen at all. Maybe you end up just finding a new item in the next 7 days or so and sensing and feeling like this piece, and I really would love, love, love this if we can be interactive about this. If we find a piece or we already have a piece that we really want to share about, telling us beautiful, I mean, right now it's just 8 women, but there's like a few more that will watch the recording that are like around the world that that this is what we desire with this piece and sharing that. Because the moment that we get to be witnessed by that, and that's why I really like, I loved Greta's sharing about her dress because it was like, holy shit, I feel like I just witnessed a woman actually expressing her desires in a way that allowed everyone in the room to be super fucking receptive. That's art. That's relational art. And that's why this is like this task is so important. That's why like even though this might seem like such a simple thing, the intentionality behind it is what will like it's going to make such a difference in your guys' lives. So that's my invitation to you. There's things happening in the chat. Um, beautiful. Yeah, and just again, like checking in with like what's the desire? Oh, I jumped ahead. Anyways, you got it. You got the point. I'm not gonna yap anymore. I am gonna tell you that we have the altar of ego next week, and it's gonna be fucking epic. And I'm really fucking excited. And I'm gonna leave it there. I think that's where we're gonna leave it now. That's where we're gonna leave it. Thank you so much for this beautiful and amazing, I think almost like just over 2 hours. It was such a pleasure.